One of the biggest and most influential games of this past decade was, of course, Minecraft. Minecraft has been huge to gaming, whether it be because of its massive sales being the most sold game of all time, or being basically the biggest game on YouTube. No matter who you are, you've probably had at least some time playing at a friend's house, if not on a console or PC of your own. But now, a few years later, Minecraft's back, and so many people have started playing again, and those who kept playing finally got the recognition they deserve. But for now, let's go back to the beginning, and look back on where it all started. Okay, so I'm going to clump all these together from before Alpha and Beta, since there isn't that much about them individually. So we start with pre-classic, the basic first build of the game. Aside from it being called Cave Game at this point, Notch, the creator of Minecraft, also decided on basing the game off of the 16x16 chunks that we all know. Now comes Classic, the first version to actually be released to the public, and also introduced Survival, as well as a bunch of the main blocks nowadays like the walls, oak planks, and logs, and Bedrock was also able to be broken too. This is also the version you can play on the Minecraft website. Next, there was InDev, which mainly focused on developing survival mode, and as it was tested, they also worked on making a lot of new features as well. Many of these new features included the inventory, crafting system, tools, farming, the ability to take screenshots and change the point of view, and of course, diamonds. Now comes InfDev, short for Infinite Development, and was when the infinite maps were made, and also created the now iconic Borderlands. It was also only playable in survival, and some of the additions for this version were minecarts, ladders, signs, doors, and the brick pyramid. This was only a naturally generated pyramid consisting only of bricks, and was the only way to acquire them at the time, although it was only in the game for a month before it was being removed. Okay, so here's some of the bigger things that were added.
Bruh.
So starting with Alpha, the game was updated very frequently at this point, and changes were found on their new development page for the players to discover. It was also told that the game would cost around $19. Now the features added over time in this update included different biomes, new music, as well as a multiplayer where you would and still need to punch in an IP address. This is also when they added the grim and spooky Nether. Obviously based off of HE Double, for a moment, the Nether wasn't very safe, and to be frank, still isn't. But it can offer some of the best loot if you look for its fortresses, which are guarded by wither skeletons and blazes, so be careful. They also included better AI, more mobs like cows and slimes, the origin of Herobrine, the difficulty toggle, and even the first redstone system. Overall, Alpha was one of the most influential updates to the game's future. Now Beta, on the other hand, was the last version of the game before it was officially released, and served as a final polish of sorts before it was. This update brought the new Minecraft logo, the new launcher, creative mode, more tree types, different weather, the new health system with hunger, stackable food, maps, beds, naturally generated structures, and melons and pumpkins, just to name a few. So these two updates, I feel, truly made Minecraft what it is today, and can be very fun to go back and revisit. So, on November 18th, 2011, Minecraft is released. It also completes the Adventure update, which was somewhat postponed from beta for just being too big, which included the End, the home of the Ender Dragon, and the first boss mob in the game, the Nether Fortress from earlier, hardcore mode with the player dies once they can't respawn, the brewing and enchanting systems, the end credits, the rare mushroom islands, the swamp biome got upgraded, and there were also the strongholds, the home of the end portals, which was the only way to get into the end dimensions, and there were also new achievements, experience points, and improved armor. This is where survival Minecraft feels the most like Minecraft and is very fun to revisit as well. Now 1.1 was very important to making the game available to a widespread audience, as it added 56 new languages to the game, truly making it available for everyone. We also got super flat worlds and spawn links for creative mode players, making it easier to test and build things. But the rest of the things in this update would have fixed and improved already existing things, so not much new, but still pretty good. So 1.2 also adds a lot of random things, such as jungles, abandoned mine shafts, iron golems, and tameable ocelots. Aside from smaller changes like being able to place stairs upside down, this update is very forgettable and definitely needed to include more new things. Now 1.3 is very clearly adding to exploration, as it added jungle and desert temples, emeralds, ender chests, and even adventure mode. They also made a demo for the game which lasted 5 in-game days. But this update also happened right at the point in Minecraft's lifetime where the game's popularity just exploded and everyone started playing and making videos on it. A lot of big names nowadays even started out because of Minecraft. So not exactly the update itself was very big, but the sheer popularity at the time was just something else. This is actually when Mojang started giving the updates nicknames, and they named 1.4 as such not just because of its content, but it was also released in October of 2012. But for the content, it brought both pretty things like beacons and pumpkin pie, and it brought scary things like witches, mob heads, and the second boss mob in the game, the Wither, which is spawnable with wither skeleton heads and soul sand, and drops a nether star upon death, which you can then use to make a beacon, which itself can supply the player with a buff like health regen and faster mining speed. We also got potatoes, anvils, item frames, and command blocks. Overall, very fun and unique. It was also cool to see them start giving the updates nicknames too, and the first time that we got a whole lot of new stuff at once too.
Mining away!
So obviously, 1.5 adds a lot to the redstone system, such as daylight sensors, droppers, and hoppers. We also saw the introduction of the scoreboard, which can show how many kills or deaths each player has on the side of the screen. This update really did help to cement how important the redstone system was to the game, and it really does allow for way more creative possibilities, like lamps that change to the time of day, or even item organizers. And honestly, not a whole lot else. Nothing with the community, nothing huge behind the scenes, just a solid gameplay update. Again, fairly obvious, this is when they added horses, but something else important happened at this point in time. July 2013 is about when Minecraft hit its all-time peak in popularity, according to Google Trends at least. This is a time when everyone and their mom started making their own Let's Plays and playing Hunger Games together. And even if you didn't play it, you probably still knew what Minecraft was. And seeing tons of other people playing, it got a whole lot of new people on board with the game too, and it helped to get it to the insane amount of copies sold that it has today. Now things included with the actual update were, of course, horses, voice armor, hay bales, and name tags, which brought the joy of Jeb on Discord. Now this gets really fun because this is when they added all sorts of different biomes. You can go from searching abandoned mines in the clay-filled lands of the mesa to acacia-filled plains of the savanna. This update made it really fun to go out and explore things and discover the new woods as well as stained glass. With all the new ideas people got and the new adventures, this definitely did change the world of Minecraft. Now for all the kiddos watching, when they mean bountiful, they just added a whole bunch of random stuff. We got banners, we got mutton and rabbit foods, we even got ocean monuments, which was such an amazing addition to such barren oceans. But it's not all good things though, because this was the last update before Microsoft bought Minecraft for $2.5 billion. Over half of what Disney paid to buy Lucasfilm, which got them the rest of Indiana Jones and even the entirety of Star Wars. And when they bought the game, they wanted to convert the entirety of it over to C#, and because this took so long, we didn't get many updates for a while, and was one of the main reasons Minecraft was on a steady decline for so long. So the update itself was amazing, aside from die right, but the game itself would be entering its dark ages. So, the infamous combat update. At launch, this update was very controversial among fans. So first off, some positive things. So they added shields to block direct attacks, and there are also elytra, which replace a chest plate but allow the user to soar through the skies. And then there's the offhand, which allows the player to dual wield items. Now, the negatives. So with the update being combat based, they added a cooldown to your attacks, so the faster you attack, the less damage you do. I think it's a good thing because it prevents players from just spamming, and it makes auto clickers way less viable for cheaters. Also, because they added shields, they got rid of the ability to turn your sword, so sadly, making peace with people is left with crouching. Other things that were added included end cities in the area beyond the dragon fight, grass paths, beetroots, and craftable end crystals. Okay, so Frostbane focuses on making hot and cold biomes more interesting to explore. Hotter things included magma blocks and husks, while colder things included were polar bears and strays. This is also when the very hated auto jump was included, and then immediately turned off by players. So yep, that's 1.10, pretty short. Now 1.11 focuses on survival mode and exploration, as it adds llamas, shulker boxes, which act like backpacks, and the woodland mansion, which are huge generated structures home to the Vindicator and Evokers, and once defeated, drop a totem of undying, which can let you cheat death in a situation where you would have died. This area is so big and full of surprises and an endless amount of rooms. Very fun update, but a little underwhelming. So 1.12 was done to make the world just a bit more vibrant. Banners and wool were made brighter, beds are now dyeable, and they brought terracotta and concrete for blocks that are just one complete color. They also included parrots that are found in jungles and dance to music discs too. They also brought in the ability to unlock crafting recipes, and is very useful for when new items are added or for new players to the game so they don't get discouraged. Overall, this update was great for making more cartoony builds and also pixel art, mainly because of the terracotta, but yeah, pretty okay. Now 1.13 was actually really fun because it added a whole bunch of content to the world's infinite oceans in the form of coral reefs and a whole bunch of new tropical fish, which themselves had 3,072 variants. We also got dolphins, which give the player a speed boost when they're swimming alongside them. They also added a whole bunch of other mobs like the adorable turtles and phantoms, which spawn and attack the player at night if they haven't slept within 3 days. We also got the drowned variant of zombies, and with them, tridents, which basically act like Mjolnir from Marvel films. They also included a bunch of underwater structures like shipwrecks and icebergs. This update actually got a little bit of build up around it, but still not enough to get it out of rock bottom. But still a very fun update. So this was a very large, daring, and very loved update. 1.14 attempted to completely change the villager trading system, and by completely change, they gave them different levels, we got different villager textures, and even certain blocks for the villagers to get jobs, and the new villager generation. It also managed to get a lot of buzz with the changes being so big. They also introduced pillagers, which are basically angry villagers who roam in groups and attack and raid nearby players and villagers. And if you kill a pillager captain, and then enter a village shortly after, a raid will commence, causing waves of pillagers to swarm in with giant ravagers chasing after you. And just to add to the overall update, they also added foxes and pandas. Now as I said, this update got a lot of attention, but a few months later, on June 21st, a certain somebody decided to come back for the game for both the greatest and longest week of all time, and he single-handedly put Minecraft back in the spotlight. This is also when a bunch of people who kept playing the game when its dark times got a lot of exposure, like Mumbo Jumbo and Green. It also helps that not long before this, Minecraft did become the most sold game of all time, even surpassing Tetris. And after such a long time of no one playing it very much, Minecraft felt a sense of community again. And a while after the game came back, another certain somebody started Minecraft Mondays, a huge competition of the biggest names in the game, from old legends like Ballistic Sword and Sky Does Minecraft to newer faces like PewDiePie and yes, James Charles.
Hi, sisters!
Now back to the actual update, there were also campfires, crossbows, bamboo, and the very convenient scaffolding. So yeah, this point in Minecraft's life was very important and was very fun after coming back to it. So 1.15 was announced at last year's Minecon Live, as well as 1.16, and was pretty well named because the only new things were basically bees. Now obviously they added bees, but there were also beehives and honey blocks that acted like slime blocks that you can also travel on the side of. Now back at Minecon, people were really hoping for a cave update, which hopefully will still come eventually, but announcing bees was sort of a punch in the gut from the developers. So yeah, small update, but still pretty funny. Now 1.16 was the other update announced at Minecon Live, and actually isn't out yet. It completely revamps the Nether by adding new mobs, biomes, blue fire, and a bunch of other things that have yet to be announced. People seem to be pretty excited about it, even though it's not a cave improvement, but it's cool to see them making such massive changes to the game and its using updates, and I hope it gets more updates to come like that. Remember, Minecraft is never finished, and it'll always get updates. Even if the community dies off again, it'll be good to know that they're still going to be going at it and getting out updates. But there isn't just PC Minecraft, there's consoles too, so let's take a look at that. We started on the Xbox 360, May 9th, 2012, and it was here where many people got introduced to Minecraft in the first place. It was updated a little over time, but somewhat stays on top of new updates with PC. And over time, we would get on other consoles, like PS3, PS Vita, Wii U, Xbox One, PS4, new 3DS XL, and Nintendo Switch. So yeah, basically it's Minecraft on consoles, and not much else. Minecraft is a game beloved by many, and its impact on the gaming industry is very important, especially when it comes to Terraria and Ark. And the redstone and command block system inspired new programmers like SethBlade. It's also very fun to go back and play some of its oldest updates, and I hope that fun continues into the new decade.